So, welcome to the 7th course of the advanced classes for GoFutureNow. Last week, we worked on the simple present tense in the negative form. We also did the simple present tense in negative with contractions, and we did the simple present tense in question form. Then we did some simple present in the third person singular, and we also did that with contractions, and we also worked with the question form. So what I'm going to do today, starting, is I'm going to ask some of you guys to read some of the sentences from last week. That'll give you the opportunity to practice your pronunciation. So I'm going to start with Katya. You're going to be first, right? And you're going to read these sentences. Remember, they do not have a contraction, so try to read them out. You can go ahead.
Okay, I do not live in this apartment with my fiancé and her brother. We do not listen to music and dance together every weekend. My friends from the school do not speak French very well.
Good.
You and your classmates do not study English together over the computer. On weekdays, my family members do not work at least 8 hours each day.
Good, good. So the last, and number 5, repeat after me, at least.
At least.
Yeah, and at least is por lo menos. So at least, and also again, be careful with the words that start with S. So no S speak, no S study, no S school. You're gonna say school, speak, study. Go ahead, try those.
School, speak, study.
A lot better. That's it. That's exactly what it sounds like when you say words in English that start with an S. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. So I'm going to mute her microphone, and I'm going to continue to the next page. So this was the simple present tense. Now, this is the simple present tense with contractions, and I'm going to go to Mariana. Mariana, can you read for us the 5 sentences and make sure you do the contractions? Go ahead.
Okay. I don't live in the apartment with my fiancé and her brother.
Okay.
We don't listen to music and dance together every weekend.
Perfect.
My friends for school don't speak French very well. You and your classmates don't study English together over the computer. On weekdays, my family members don't work at least 8 hours each day.
Very good. So what I'm going to tell you is the S's at the end. I want to make sure that you don't skip them. So 2 things that I noticed was number 4. Repeat after me. Classmates.
Classmate.
That's singular. You want plural. Classmates.
Classmate.
And then arrastra la S al final. So classmates.
Classmate.
Classmates. So you want classmates.
Classmates.
Okay, there it is. So ahí estaba. If you want, tú la puedes arrastrar un poco más, and that's going to make it sound like plural. Por ejemplo, the other one is number 5. Repeat after me. Weekdays.
Weekdays.
That's a lot better. Yeah, that's good. And at the end of that sentence, hours.
Hours.
Good, that's it. So that's how you want to say it to make sure that people know that the word you're using is in plural. Okay? Thank you.
Okay.
All right, great. All right, let's go to the next one. And the next one is questions, right? So we're doing questions. And I'm going to ask Mariela to read these for me.
Do I live in this apartment with my fiancé and her brother? Do we listen to music and dance together every weekend? Do my friends from school speak French very well? Do you and your classmates study English together over the computer? On weekdays, do my family members work at least 8 hours each day? Each day?
Yeah, that was excellent. That was very good. So it sounded very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now, if anybody else wants to read, just let me know. But I'm going to continue to the next one. Okay, so use the chat in the bottom if anybody wants to read. Please let me know. If not, I'm going to start again with the same readers. All right. Okay. So now let's move on to the simple present tense in the third person singular. Okay. And Katia, can you start for us, please?
Okay. He lives in this apartment with my fiancé and her brother. She listens to music and dances with us every weekend. My friend from school speaks French very well. My classmate studies English with us over the computer. On weekdays, my family member works at least 8 hours each day.
Okay, excellent. Good job. Thank you. And I'm going to move on to the next page. Mariana, go ahead.
He does live in this apartment with my fiancée and her brother. She does listen to music and dance with us every weekend. My friend from school does speak French very well.
Good.
My classmate does study English with us over the computer. On weekdays, my family member does work at least 8 hours each day.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to make a quick change here. So the change that I see that needs to be made is because of she. We do want to change this to dances. So that is an important change there. And then the other thing I want to show everybody is if you see here, now I did this on purpose. This actually we didn't do last week, but I did this on purpose. So we have he lives, she listens, my friend from school speaks, my classmate studies, and my family member works. If you see, it's in the third person singular and the verb has an S. So in Spanish it would translate él vive, ella escucha, mi amigo de la escuela habla, mi compañero de clase estudia, el miembro de mi familia trabaja. And that's how it translates. In the next one, if you see this word does, this is another way to say it. A lot of people don't say it that way. But when they say it that way, it sounds like a repeating of the affirmative. Cuando se dice así con el does en el medio, es como que están repitiendo que es afirmativo. Por ejemplo, si este número uno aquí, he lives, es él vive, este suena como él sí vive en este apartamento. No es exactamente lo mismo, porque la palabra do, hacer, no es la palabra sí. Pero en español, cuando uno dice él sí vive aquí, o ella sí escucha, in English, does has the same effect, tiene el mismo efecto, okay? So he does live in this apartment, or she does listen, or my friend from school does speak, my classmate does study, my family members, or my family member does work. That does is like this repetition of the affirmative, right? So that's what that's what it sounds like in English, okay? And it's good to know both, especially because as we do negative, the does is required. So cuando hacemos el negativo, ese does es requerido, lo tienen que usar para el negativo. Para el positivo no, se puede decir en la forma simple con el verbo llevando ese, como está en la pantalla. He lives, she listens, my friend from school speaks, y la mayoría de personas lo dicen de esta manera. Pero si lo quieren repetir y enseñar que lo quieren afirmar que es algo verdadero, puede ser que usen ese does. He does live or she does listen, okay? So it's good to know both, all right? So that's that. Now I'm going to move on to the negative, and we do have loose back, So I'm glad, Luz, that you're back. Luz, we're doing a little bit of reading. Can you read for us? I'm going to open your microphone, okay? Let me know if you can hear me.
Okay,
Good. And I want you to read these, and I'm just going to listen for pronunciation. Go ahead.
okay. He does not live in this apartment with my fiancée and her brother. She does not listen to music and dance with us every weekend. My friend from school does not speak French very well. My classmate does not study English with us over the computer. On weekdays, my family member does not work at least 8 hours each day.
That was perfect. That was good. I want you to read, which one was it? Can you read number 2 again for me?
Okay. She does not listen to music and dance with us every weekend.
Can you read number 1 again?
He does not live in this apartment with my fiancée and her brother.
That was excellent. No, everything was really good. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good. Okay, and then now I'm going to move to contraction. And I think I'm going to ask, I believe I had Mariela next to read. So, Mariela, I'm opening your microphone and you can read those sentences.
Okay. He doesn't live in this apartment with his fiancée and her brother. He doesn't listen to music and dance with us every weekend. My friend from school doesn't speak French very well. My classmate doesn't study English with us over the computer. On weekdays, my family member doesn't work at least 8 hours each day.
8 hours. Plural, right?
8 hours each day.
So don't forget the S in hours because it's plural. Son 8 horas, como es plural. It's 8 hours. Repeat after me.
8 hours.
Perfect, yeah. So the S is very important because it does sound wrong. If it is plural, or it's supposed to be plural, and you don't say it, it's going to sound off. There was another one. Can you read number 4 again?
My classmate doesn't study English with us over the computer.
That was excellent, yeah. Classmate and English. I wanted those 2 words. Repeat after me. Classmate.
Classmate.
Excellent. And English.
English.
Excellent. Good. Good job. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. So now we're going to move on to the last one, which is question. And I think I'm going to go back to, actually, let me ask Mariana to read. Mariana, is there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Do the question for me.
Does he live in this apartment with his fiancée and her brother?
Good.
Does she listen to music and dance with us every weekend? Does my friend from school speak French very well? Does my classmate study English with us over the computer? On which day does my family member work at least 8 hours each day?
And then same thing at the end. Does my family member work at least, continue?
At least 8 hours each day.
Very good. There it is. You got it. Thank you very much. Okay, so that was all the examples from last week. So now we're going to move on to this week's class. And in this week's class, we're going to look at regular verbs in the past tense and irregular verbs in the, and I should say past, so in the past tense as well, okay? And I did give you that list, which should have all the verbs that we're working on. On that list that I gave you guys, so on that list, you should have both. You should have the regular and irregular verbs, and you should have the Spanish translation. So if you do not know the verbs, you can learn them, okay? But really what today's class is about learning the past tense, right? So it's not really about learning the verbs. I'm hoping that you already know them. But if you don't, I did give you the Spanish translation so that you can study, so that you can practice, okay? So let's move to the verbs in this week's lesson. And what I'm going to do is I am going to have volunteers to read with me, kind of just to repeat after me, because another piece of the verbs is the pronunciation in the past tense. I mean, that's sometimes it's a little difficult. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we practice how to pronounce it. So what I'm going to ask is one at a time, you guys are going to work with me, you're going to read, you're going to repeat after me, and then everybody else is going to listen for the pronunciation and practice at home. And what you want to do is you want to get that pronunciation going. So I'm going to start with Katya. You're going to be first. I'm going to open your microphone. Let me know if you can hear me.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. And we're going to do all these verbs one by one. And if there's any verb that anybody doesn't know, Katya, you can ask me what it means. Everybody else, you can send it through the chat, and we'll talk about the definition. But remember, you do have that PDF or that Word file that does tell you what they mean. So if you can look at that at the same time, that can also help you. All right, so here we go. So the first one, repeat after me, arrive.
Arrive.
Good. Arrived.
Arrived.
Yeah, and it's so the ending, if you notice, and we're gonna do more pronunciation practices in the future where we'll break down which endings finish with the sound D and the sound T. But what I want you to know is any verb that does not finish in T or D, un verbo que no termina en T o D, antes de la ED, no tiene una sílaba nueva al final. It does not have a new syllable at the end. So es como que el final se corta, just the way that Katya repeated. So let's do that one again. Repeat after me. Arrive.
Arrive.
Arrived.
Arrived.
Very good. Next one. Change.
Change.
Changed.
Change.
Very good. Cook.
Cook.
Cooked.
Cooked.
Very good. Deliver.
Deliver.
Delivered.
Deliver.
Yeah, and then let's do that one again. Delivered.
Delivered.
Good. Expect.
Expect.
And eso suena más como la X, ¿verdad? Expect.
Expect.
Good. Expected.
Expected.
Okay, and that's the example that I'm telling you guys. Ese es un ejemplo. Si se dan cuenta, hay una T antes de la ED, entonces el sonido es una sílaba nueva. So, yo voy a leer las primeras 4 y después la quinta para que escuchen la diferencia entre esas 5. Katya, you do not have to repeat after me. You can just listen. So, it's going to sound like this. Arrived, changed, cooked, delivered, expected. Muy diferente, la quinta es muy diferente, es expected, ya es una sílaba nueva, no es como que se está cortando de una sílaba a otra, o como que se está cortando y está teniendo el sonido en D o T, ahora suena como una sílaba nueva. Escuchen otra vez, arrived, changed, cooked, delivered, expected, alright? So, eso siempre va a pasar cuando hay una T o una D antes de la ED. Next one. Este es otro ejemplo de una T antes de la ED. So here we go. Repeat after me. Last.
Last.
Lasted.
Lasted.
Learn.
Learn.
Learned.
Learn.
And then do it again. Learned.
Learned.
Very good. And that was more like a D, but we'll keep practicing it, so it's not a T. But that's something that you get with practice, but it sounds really good the way you're saying it. Here we go. Like.
Like.
Liked.
Liked.
Listen.
Listen.
Listened.
Listened.
Good. Listened. Trata de decir esa un poco más como una D, no como una T. No listened. Algunas sí terminan con el sonido T, pero esta termina con el sonido D. So listened. Más como
Listened.
D.
Listened.
That's a lot better. Listened. Aunque todavía suena casi como si fuera una T, pero no tan fuerte. Listened.
Listened.
Just like that,
Listened.
yeah. Exactly. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. Listened. Good. Next one. Live.
Live.
lived,
lived,
lived.
lived.
Good. Next one, mail,
Mail,
mailed.
mailed.
Good, that sounded good. Move,
Move,
moved.
moved.
See, that was excellent. That sounded like a D, moved. That's it. Paint,
Paint,
painted.
painted.
Very good. And pass,
Pass,
passed.
pass.
There you go. So there you have it, guys. So those are the first, I believe there's 14 there. You have the simple present tense, and then you have the past tense. And what do you want to do? You want to learn the definition. You want to learn how to change it to the past, which these are regular verbs, so it's easy. You just put ed at the end. And if it already has an e, right? So I'll show you guys with my laser pointer, right? If it already has an e here, arrive, change, and you put a d at the end, arrived, changed, right? You put only a d, no ed. But if you have cook with a k, you can add ed, right? Cook, cooked. Cook, cooked. Okay? So that's how you can do that. All right, so notice it. Here, live, lived, only add the d. So it finishes in ed, but if there's already an e, only d at the end. That's it. And that's how the regular verbs, that's all the regular verbs. That's how they work. I do have a question on the chat, and it's for pronunciation. So this is how you pronounce paint and painted. It goes paint, painted, paint, painted. Okay, that's how you pronounce that one. All right, and if there's no other questions, I want to thank Katia for the help. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, and then I'm gonna shut off your microphone, and I'm gonna move on to the next page. And now I'm gonna ask for what do we have, Mariana? Mariana, I'm gonna ask you to come in and read a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so here we go. I want you to repeat after me, and we're gonna go through all of these. Pray,
Pray,
prayed.
prayed.
Good. Save,
Save,
save.
saved.
Okay, let's do the first one. Again, we'll do it again. Repeat after me. Save.
Save.
Okay, pero con la primera quiero que la V suene un poco más fuerte. Tiene que poner los dientes de arriba con los labios de abajo para hacer el sonido V. Save.
Saved.
Better. Saved.
Saved.
Better. Good. Next one. Smell.
Smell.
Smelled.
Smelled.
That's good. Start.
Start.
Started.
Started.
That's good. Next one. Study.
Study.
Studied.
Studied.
Okay, let's do that one again. Studied.
Studied.
No quiero que diga es. No, no es studied. Studied.
Study.
Good. That was much better. Okay, next one. Talk.
Talk.
One more time. Talk.
Talk.
La L no tan fuerte. So vamos a decir talk. Talk. Como si la L casi ni suena. Talk.
Talk.
Better. Talked.
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 Better. Tease.
Tease.
Teased.
Teased.
Yeah, ok. Y yo sí lo estoy exagerando mucho al final. Vamos a empezar a exagerarlo un poco menos, pero todavía lo quiero escuchar. So, we're not going to go, repeat after me. Vamos a hacer eso otra vez. Tease,
Tease.
teased.
Teased.
That's it. Very good. Turn off.
Turn off.
Turned off.
Turned off.
Excellent. Wait,
Wait.
waited.
Waited.
Walk,
Walk.
walked.
Walk.
Walked.
Walked.
Esa sí suena como si es una T al final. Walked. Es igual como talk que hicimos anteriormente y walk, otra vez la L casi ni suena. Talk, walk. Es más la K que suena. So no es talk, no. Talk, no. Talk, walk. Así es que suena. All right, let's keep going to the next one. Want,
Want.
wanted.
Wanted.
Watch,
Watch.
watched.
Watch.
Good. And wave.
Wave.
One more time. Wave.
Wave.
Waved.
Waved.
Good. Work. One more time. Work.
Work.
Worked.
Worked.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That was excellent.
Thank you.
Let me know if anybody has any questions. If not, I'm going to move on to the next group of words. We're going to start working with the irregular verbs. Tease. Oh, so you're asking for the definition? Tease is molestar, right? So that's how I found it. The definition for tease. That's how I found it in like the translator. When kids do it a lot, los niños lo hacen mucho, right? Cuando molestan a los otros niños diciéndoles cosas, por ejemplo, like, oh, los niños jugando, oh, tú eres fea, o esto y lo otro. Se llama teasing, como molestando, like, no lo moleste, right? So that's the word tease. You can tease physically, doing physical things, but mostly teasing is verbally, like molestando, pero diciéndole cosas a alguien, como para molestarlo. That's what tease means, okay? So tease, fastidiar. I see Mariela saying there. Fastidiar o molestar. Exactly. That's exactly what it means, okay? So thank you for that. Any other questions? All right. So I had Katia read and I had Mariana read. So now I am going to ask Mariela to read, okay? So Mariela, I'm going to open your microphone first, right? And there it is. So it's open. Just let me know that you can hear me. Okay. And now we're going to practice the irregular verbs, okay? So these are irregular. Now they're irregular because you just don't put ed at the end. You have to change it to a new, different word. So al final no se le puede añadir solamente L, hay que cambiarlo a una palabra diferente. That's why they're irregular, okay? So repeat after me. Begin.
Began.
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 And.
Began.
So that's much better. Good. Come.
Come.
Came.
Came.
This one stays the same. Cost.
Caught.
Cost.
Caught.
Good. And don't forget the T at the end. Cost.
Caught.
Better. So, yeah, so this one stays the same. Present or past, it's written the same, it sounds the same. Repeat after me. Drink,
drink,
drank.
drank,
And then don't forget the K at the end. Drank.
drank,
Feel,
feel,
felt.
felt,
That was good. You got it. Give,
give,
gave.
gave,
Go,
go,
went.
went,
Have,
have,
had.
had,
One more time. Had.
had,
Very good. Hear,
hear,
heard.
heard,
One more time. Heard.
heard,
Good. Know,
know,
knew.
knew,
That's it. Put,
put,
put.
put,
Another example. It stays the same. Present, past, same. Read,
read,
read.
read,
Now this one's different, right? You write it the same. R-E-A-D. You write it the same. But in the present, read. In the past, read. Writing, the spelling is the same. The pronunciation is different. Okay? Next one. See,
see,
saw.
saw,
Sit,
sit,
sat.
sat.
Okay, there we go. Very good. If there's any questions, please let me know. Mariela, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we do have a question, so I'm going to go straight to that now over in the chat. And we have Kim saying, can I say they read, they read. Yep, they read the book yesterday. So yeah, that's the way you write it. In order for you to know if it's read or read, you have to know the context. So for example, the word yesterday lets me know that this is in the past. And that lets me know that I can't say read, I have to say read. Obviously, it might be a little difficult because the word yesterday is at the end of the question, right? So like if you don't know prior context, you might read, can I say they read the book yesterday? Oh no, I gotta say it again. So can I say they read the book because it's the same spelling. So the only way you're ever gonna know which of the two it is, you gotta have the context. Either the word yesterday or maybe there was a conversation before it that kind of gave you an idea of if we're talking in the past or in the present. But yeah, you would write it exactly the same way, but you would pronounce it differently. Okay? Good question. Great question, actually. Okay, so now let's move to the next one, and I'm going to ask Luz to read. So I'm going to open up my attendees list, and Luz, can you hear me?
Okay, yes.
Wonderful. Okay, repeat after me. Sell,
Sell,
sold.
sold,
Good. Speak,
speak,
spoke.
spoke,
Tell,
tell,
told.
told,
Write,
write,
wrote.
wrote,
Good. Become,
become,
became.
became,
Bring,
bring,
brought.
brought,
Choose,
choose,
chose.
chose,
Make,
make,
Made.
made,
Good. Fight.
fight,
Fought.
fought,
Hide.
hide,
Hid.
hate,
One more time with that one. Hid.
hide, hate,
Yeah, and then the second one, hid, just repeat it directly after me. Hid.
hate,
Yeah, that was better. That was a lot better. Hid. Okay, next one. Forget.
forget,
Forgot.
forget,
Okay, that sounded too much like the same. And they are very close. Get, get, and then the other one, got.
okay,
Got.
forget,
Okay, so do both, Go ahead.
forget and forgot,
Excellent, good. Win,
win,
won.
won,
Keep,
keep,
kept.
kept,
And swim,
swim,
swam.
swam.
Excellent. Okay, great work. So there you have it. Again, if there are any questions, please let me know. Luz, thank you so much for reading with me.
You're welcome.
All right. So I'm going to mute her microphone, and I'm going to look for the chat to see if anybody has any questions in particular. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do, I want you to stay there because I'm going to give you a quiz for today's lesson. Instead of sending it out through email in 24 hours, you know what? I'm going to try to give it to you guys now. Since I said that we would probably be done around 8:20 or so, and I still have you guys here with me. So why don't we do the quiz now? I'm gonna let you guys do that. In the meantime, what I want you guys to do is get the page, the list that I gave you. You can use it if you need it. If you know most of these words already, try to do the quiz without the words or without the page, right? Try to see if you can just do it, just using what you have in your mind. But if you need the help, use the help. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now, and so that you guys can take that quiz with me. Okay, so let me stop sharing the screen for a moment.